Hey everyone, welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to do an engine swap on a push lawnmower. So without further ado, let's go. So the first thing you're going to want to do is get the lawnmower up on some sort of table. Just makes the whole process a lot easier. So that's the first step. Second step is drain out the gas from the tank. So to drain out the fuel, get a drain pan, place it underneath the fuel line, and then get a pair of pliers and take off the fuel line. And that's how the gas looks coming out. It's pretty dirty in this one. Yeah, I'm not surprised because look at the engine. I mean, it's disgusting. Okay, so now the fuel is done draining out, and now we're going to move on to this next step, which is take off the pull handle from the little holder. So just kind of snake this around. There we go. And you're also going to want to disconnect the brake cable over there. So let's go do that. Okay, so next step, take off the brake cable. So get a pair of pliers, squeeze this in here, pull it through, then pull it up and twist it out. There we go. Now the engine is completely disconnected from the mower deck. So next step, step number, I think 4, we're going to tip the mower up on its end and undo the 3 bolts holding on the engine. Alright, so the steps after this current one, or including this current one, are going to be simpler if it's on the ground. So what we're going to do is lift the lawnmower onto the ground and then take off the engine and put the new one on. Just makes it a lot easier because you're not lifting the engine off a table. So yeah, lift it onto the ground and then we can unbolt it. Alright, so now what we're going to do is remove the blade bolt and then remove these 3 bolts holding on the motor. So that's this one, that one, and there's one more on the bottom. Okay, so on this particular mower, the blade bolt is a 9/16, and so are, those are 1/2 inch as well. So I need a 9/16 and then a 1/2 inch. And you can use a ratchet, you don't need an impact. It's pretty simple to take all these out with a ratchet. And thankfully, our blade adapter was able to come off of this crankshaft easily. That is probably the hardest step of the whole process, is getting one of these off if they're stuck. So we're going to need this for the new engine. So blades off. Now we're going to take out the 3 1/2 inch bolts holding on the engine. Alrighty, and just like that, the old engine is off. Now we're going to go get the new engine and put it on. Okay, so now we're ready to install the new engine onto the deck. And this is the only time of the video, or I mean this process, that it might be handier to have an impact, because the impact will help get the bolts started in the engine faster when you're trying to hold it on the other side with your hand and get them in there. It's a little difficult with a ratchet, so I would recommend using an impact for this step, which is getting the engine bolts into the engine through the deck. Alright, let's get the engine onto the deck. And the new engine came with some bigger 9/16 headed bolts, which we're going to use instead of these puny 1/2 inch ones. Although they still will work if you would like to use those. So get the bolts in the impact already here. Lift the engine up here. Hold it on there. Alright, that's one. Now I'm going to repeat that step for the other 3. And then we're also going to have a special trick that I'm going to show you to do with the blade adapter. Okay, so my little trick with the blade adapter is to get some of this anti-seize and smear it on the crankshaft. This will prevent the adapter from sticking on there. So get a bit smeared on there. That's kind of a lot, but oh well. And then grab the adapter, line up the keyway with the keyway on the shaft, and put it on. Let me spread this goo out with my finger. I think the end of the shaft is a bit mushroomed out, so we're going to have to maybe file it down to get that on. But I'll get this on, then I'll turn you guys back on. Alrighty guys, so I figured out why our adapter wasn't sliding on, and that is because the keyway in the crankshaft is probably a little bit more difficult to tell on camera, but it pokes in right there. So what I'm going to have to do is you get this file and file this little indentation here. I'm gonna have to file that straight so that the adapter can slide on there. Because right now, what's happening is the keyway in here is hitting this little protrusion and it's not allowing it to slide onto the crankshaft. So we're gonna have to file this till it's smooth and flat, like this side. Okay, so I filed it down and the adapter slid right on with the anti-seize. Now what I'm gonna do is put a little bit of more anti-seize on here, on this end here, so the blade won't rust to this. Okay, now that our blade's on, we're gonna tip the lawnmower back up on its wheels and put a new air filter in, and we're gonna rehook the pull cord into there. And we're also going to reinstall, or we're going to install a new engine stop cable, which is right there. Okay, so now we're gonna rehook the starter cord into the handle. So just pull this up, get under there. And I'm gonna have to tighten this, so I'm gonna do that right now. And actually no, first we're gonna rehook the cable here, and then I'm going to tighten up the recoil. Here's our cable. We want to hook it into the engine over here. Sorry about this bumpy camera. So it's basically the opposite of removal, which I showed you earlier. So hook this into the hole, down, click, boom. Next, bring the other end. Bring the other end up here, and then hook this in the hole, hook this in the handle, and then there we go. That works good. Okay, so the next step I'm going to do is install the original gas cap and dipstick that matches the wheels and the lettering over there. It does help complete the look of the mower. And yes, I had the top cover. It's lying on my tailgate over there, which I'll put on after I retighten the recoil. Okay, so I've decided to just replace the rope in the recoil, so I'm gonna go through this with you guys. First step, take out the three 5/16 bolts on the top. So there's 1, 2, and 3. Take them out. I'm just gonna use this screwdriver with a socket at the end of it. Alrighty, so the next step, after you take out the 3 5/16, there's going to be another one on the dipstick. Take this one out. It's really tight for some reason. What the heck? Oh my god. Alrighty, so once that bolt is removed, you can tip this back like this, and then just pull this dipstick up, twist it out, off to the side like this. Now what we're gonna have to do is take out those 2 3/8 bolts. So there's one there and there. Then there's gonna be 2 in the front, so one there and there. Take all those out, and then we can lift this off, and I'll show you guys how to replace the rope inside. Okay, so common misconception, people think this is a lot harder than it actually is. So if you have your old rope, what you're gonna do first is pull this all the way out. I'm gonna do this in real time, no cuts, so that you guys can see really what it's like. So pull this all the way out like this, then get you a small screwdriver and lock it in the notches over here. So we're gonna go like right there. This will prevent the reel from going back in, which is good. So leave that on an angle like this. Next step, get some needle nose pliers, pull out the little end here, cut this off because we're not gonna need this anymore. I'm not gonna use this old rope. Cut this off of here and pull the old one out of there. Not going to use that. Next step, get the new rope, feed it in this hole down here and out of the one where my finger is right there. Feed it out of here and into there. This will protrude out of here, and then that's going to be good. So get the new rope, which is 7 feet long, pretty much. This part takes a couple of tries, but it helps if the end is actually melted well. That one's not. This one's better. So get this, feed this through the hole down there. Might need my pliers. It helps if you kind of get this in a little point. Then it'll go through the hole a lot easier. There we go. And wow, it actually went out on its own. That's a great sign. So pull this out a little bit. Next, get this end, tie a knot in it like this. And you get nice and close to the end here. Next, get your pliers, pull this, make this really tight. Now, pull the other end of the rope until the knot goes against the hole here. There we go. Give it a pull, make sure it works good. Next step, get the end over here and get the old rope with handle. Yeah, this guy did not know what he was doing. I don't know what this is. And also, side note, when I took this off, the bolts were rounded off, so that was a great sign. Anyway, old rope, cut this off of here, like this. Toss that aside. Here's our handle. These are the best handles that I've ever used. It fits really nice in the hand, nice and comfortable. Get the new rope, feed it through the handle here, and watch this end over here, because now the rope's going to come out of it, and we can tie our second knot. So go like this again, tie the knot. Decent sized one. That's kind of a little small, but oh well. Should be fine. Pull it nice and tight. Pull this, and give the rope a good pull in here. This will make sure the knot doesn't come out of the hole. I've had that happen before, but make sure that it's not going back out. Okay, next, get some sort of grease. I had this one. It doesn't really matter what you use. Just spray it in here, in the hole. Get these little paws here, over here again. And now, go back here, where this part is, spray down in there. This will lubricate the spring inside and make it work a lot better. And you can sometimes go from under here too and get in there. Alrighty, so now, what we're gonna do is hold the rope here with our hand, pull out the little screwdriver, and now let the rope retract itself back in the recoil. And okay, this is not a good sign. Well, it's fine. But basically, this should retract the rope in all the way, and as we can see here, it's not. So what we're gonna have to do is pull the rope out of here and wind this up one or two more times to get all the rope inside. So to do that, get your needle and those pliers, grab the rope over here. It helps to kind of shove the rope up with your fingers inside of it, so you can grab onto it with the pliers. There we go. Once you've done that, go like this. And we're doing this, hold one end with your hand, like this over here, and go, you're gonna wanna wind this up like this, so there's one turn, and we'll give it another one. So there's two turns. And now pull this back with your hand here and see if it goes in any further, which it does, and that's good enough because, yeah, just is. There we go. That's how to rewind your Briggs & Stratton quantum engine recoil. Now, I'm gonna reinstall it on the engine, and we're gonna see if this thing runs. Okay, quick side note, this is also a great sign when you buy something from Marketplace. Look at all these bolts. This one here, rounded off at the end. And they're not even all the same. This one's way too short. These ones are all, yeah, they're all different lengths. So, that's a great sign. I'm sure the Marketplace seller knew what he was doing when he repaired this. Okay, something else I just noticed that I'm not too happy with is that the head bolts are labeled. That means that this cylinder head was likely pulled off of here. That's not a good sign. So, I'm going to recheck these before we put gas in it and start it up, because likely the seller or previous owner didn't tighten them all the way, and that's great. See, like 4, 5, what is this, 1, 8, 7, I don't know, whatever, they're all labeled. That's not what you want to see. Of course, I didn't see that because, oh well, whatever. I'm sure it was, I don't know. That's not a good sign. So, moral of the story, if you see funky stuff like this, pass. Okay, so I just checked the head bolts, and well, they were all loose, so yeah. Okay, now I'm gonna add the fresh oil, then we're going to start it up and see how it runs. Alright, well, gas is in it, and that's a great sign. The carb is leaking gas, so I'm gonna have to fix that, and then we'll see if this thing runs. Okay, so it turns out the bowl nut, which is loose, so I tightened it up, and now it's not leaking anymore, so let's see if it runs. And it's an auto choke, so there's no primer. video seems like it'll be good. In the beginning there, the auto choke wasn't turning off, so I had to manually do it. But that's a common thing. So I'll keep running this for a bit and see how it turns out. So anyway, that's how to complete an engine swap on a lawnmower. So if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Remember to hit the subscribe and comment. I read all the comments you guys leave. I might not reply, but oh well, at least I read them all. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have an awesome weekend. And if you have any tips or tricks, or if you've done this before, please leave a comment. I would be very interested. Thanks for watching, everyone.